Most people who do a 9 to 5, they do just enough to not get fired.
Every job I've ever been at, I have tried my best to be the best employee I can be.
If you close 6 wholesale deals, you should quit your job immediately. How much more proof of concept do you need?
Build your company slow.
What do you mean? You wish you didn't close those 6 wholesale deals?
Obviously, there's some deals you're gonna make $50K, some deals you're gonna make $3K.
That's free now. We're talking about free system.
Well,
we just made our first check.
From a free system, I'm assuming you're spending like $4,000 a month.
From where?
On marketing.
Your 9 to 5?
No.
Where's that $4,000 coming from? What the are you saving $100,000 for? Spend that as fast as possible. The first thing that you should spend your money on, you should not invest any money on cold callers, skip tracing, none of that bullshit. You are the 9 to 5. If you want to make money being an entrepreneur, you set that foundation in the beginning. No amount of money is going to make me go against my morals.
You don't know what your number is.
You really don't know what you would do until you're put in that situation. Don't
know.
sell your soul for 10 bands. That is nothing.
When we did the 200K deal, we were supposed to make 350K. Canceled our deal to go with the 350K. Luckily, the 350K fell through anyway, but we are recording.
We're live.
We're live.
In this podcast, we're going to talk about how to replace your 9 to 5 income with your entrepreneur ventures. My name is Isaiah Malonson. This is my boy Vince. He's been working with me for about a year now, and we closed over $200,000 together in assignment fees just within 90 days of knowing each other. How to leave your 9 to 5 and replace that income, that 9 to 5 income, with your own income from being an entrepreneur. So let's start off with a question. What's the number one skill you think you need to have in order to be able to not only become an entrepreneur, but to quit your 9 to 5 and replace it with, steady entrepreneur income? What would you say the one skill is that's needed?
The one skill you need, in my opinion, I'll let you answer as well. Let's see if we have the same answer. Is you want to say on the count of 3? See if we have the same answer.
Sure.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Sales.
Never giving up.
I said sales.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay.
I say never giving up because
perseverance. So we're talking about a skill.
A skill. Perseverance is a skill because I did not start out understanding sales. I always had a natural talent for sales, meaning that when somebody said no, I try to find a way to get them to say yes, right? Without any skill, just, being a pure brute, right? But the reason I'm successful today is because I persevered. I kept going. I learned the skill of sales, right? You could be a good sales person. I've actually had the luck to work for a traditional sales company, like a sales floor. There's like 40 guys on there. We're pounding the phones, and I've heard guys that sound really good on the phone. I mean, these guys are smooth talkers, but they don't have the perseverance to be successful in the company. They want that quick fix, and they end up quitting. And I'm telling you, this is a company that has all the systems, all the resources. If you know how to sell, there's no reason you should fail. But they failed because they gave up, right? That's the only difference.
Yeah, I agree. You do need perseverance would be the number one, but to me, in the eyes of like skill, perseverance isn't really, well, it can be a skill, but that's not really what I meant. I meant like I'd look at perseverance as like a virtue.
Okay, I can see that.
Sales is like the skill. So if you have the virtue of perseverance to build the skill of sales, anything, the world is at your fingertips. But number one, sales. If you learn how to communicate properly and learn how to articulate your thoughts and ideas effectively and efficiently to where other people can understand them and digest it easily, you know how to take a complicated idea and regurgitate it in a simple way to where a third grader could understand it. Not only understand it, but see it how you see it, perceive it how you perceive it. I think that's the number one skill and is what you need to make money is sales, whether that's in drop shipping, wholesale real estate, trading, selling vacuums door to door, selling windows door to door, whatever it is. If you learn how to articulate and communicate your ideas and thoughts effectively and efficiently as possible, I think that is the number one thing you need to succeed in entrepreneurship in general, but also, to replace your 9 to 5. if you could focus on building these skills while you're at your 9 to 5, then you're setting yourself up for success for when you do plan to leave your 9 to 5. But the number one trap that people fall in is just working a 9 to 5 and always going through the motions every day, not building a skill set, not building your value as a person, not adding any value to the world. You're just going to work, clocking in and clocking out. That's like the number one death trap that anybody could fall under for sure.
I agree. And I believe everybody wants to be rich. And I read a book, How to Be Rich. And one of the skills he said about being rich is that you have to have a team of employees, right? You have to have executives. So you get executives making $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year. These are successful people in their own right. But why don't they just start their own company, right? Because if you're paying an executive $200K a year, let's say Google. I don't know what Google employees make, but let's say an executive over there is making $400K a year. How much is the company making off of that, right? 10 million. I'm making up numbers, right? But he said most people are too afraid to leave their 9 to 5s, right? They like the comfort.
Yeah, you don't have to think. You don't have to think when you have a 9 to 5. If you have a 9 to 5 and a paycheck's coming, all you have to do, the big thing, there's a quote that paraphrases this somewhere, but yeah, most people who do a 9 to 5, they do just enough to not get fired. But they also do just enough to not be recognized as like excelling talent, so they're not promoted and given more responsibilities. They do just enough to coast under the radar and just enough to not get fired. That is like the worst trap you could fall in. Now you're building a skill of how to get by half-ass. That's a skill that you're building. If you learn how to work within your corporate job hard enough to where you're not going to get fired, just enough to where you're not getting fired, but also not hard enough to where you're going to get promoted, that is the art of half-assing.
And I'll say this, guys. I've had jobs. I've been an entrepreneur for a while, and I've been in sales. And now I'm allergic to jobs. Like I couldn't even have one. And if all shit went to hell, I'd probably get a sales job that's 100% commission. But every job I've ever been at, I have tried my best to be the best employee I can be. Right? Because why not? You're there. I don't get people who like you act like you don't want to be there. But this is feeding your family. Like I used to be a server. I don't know if you can relate to this. I used to be a server, and I was like, I'll close. And when that table came in at the restaurant closed at 10, and that table comes in at 9:30, everyone's like, oh hell no. I was like, hell yeah, I'll take that table. That's another $20-$30.
That's right. The hustler mentality.
Were you the same way?
Yeah, I was
like, hell yeah.
I think every waiter who like is trying to make money is that way.
Yeah. And I would also go into I'd go into the shift with a goal. I'm like, okay, today I'm making $100, right? Have that mindset.
Yeah, it's good to have those goals when you walk into your serving job. I used to have a serving position for multiple years, and I liked it because I knew it was building my skill of sales. In-person sales especially, but yeah, anytime somebody didn't want to take a table, I was taking on as many tables as possible. Absolutely. I didn't care if I was overwhelmed. I just wanted it because I knew being overwhelmed in the waiter position was also building my skill. The amount of your level of stress tolerance is directly correlated to the amount of money in your bank account. So the more you could tolerate stress, the more money you're going to make. So that's a big thing when you're waiting tables. Being able to take like 7 tables at once and calmly take care of each table without freaking out, without spilling food, without spilling drinks, without arguing, without fighting,
Yeah, and also, not to talk about waiting too much, I hate waiters that act like they're busy, okay? When you're at your table, be at your table. Don't be thinking about another table, right? Anyway, so here's the recipe. So you have a 9 to 5 job, okay? The average income in Dallas, Texas is $60,000, believe it or not. I can't believe that's true, but
a year?
$60,000 a year. That's the average income for a man in Dallas, Texas. It's crazy, right?
That's pretty low.
It's very low. That's
Yeah.
why we have to be grateful for the money we make. But anyway, if you're making $60,000 a year, this is what you got to do. You got to humble yourself. Okay, I would definitely, if you're younger, stay with your parents if you can, if you have healthy parents, or get a roommate. Right? Go to your job, save your money, and when you're home, focus on your business. Build it up slowly. Right? Build your skills up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have enough money to replace your, um, I would say, get a minimum of 10 deals. Once you have 10 deals under your belt, I would say you know how to wholesale correctly and you can leave your job. I made that mistake when I first started wholesaling. I got like 6 deals. I was like, man, I'm the man. I quit my job, and like 6 months later, I was back and
Yeah,
depressed.
so let's get into the stuff that we disagree about.
Yeah.
Because if you close, in my opinion, if you close 6 fucking wholesale deals, you should quit your job immediately. If you close 6, I don't care if they're $1,000 each. If you close 6 wholesale deals, there is no fucking reason for you to be having a job right now. Absolutely no excuse. Stop being a bitch. That's just my opinion. 6 wholesale? 6? How much more proof of concept do you need?
Look,
6 fucking deals, bro?
Listen, I'm talking from, over $1 million in assignments in 3 years, closer to 2 million. I'm talking from this perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm regrowing and restructuring my company.
Well, but let's put us in the shoes of our younger selves.
Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is, one thing I wish I would have done differently. I don't even care about the money. I would have rather built my company slow. Build your company slow.
What do you mean? What do you
What-
wish
what-
you didn't close those 6 wholesale deals?
Meaning, when you get a wholesale deal, let's say you get an average wholesale deal, which is $12,000, right? You're making that industry standard. Average wholesale deal is 12 to 15,000. That's average.
Okay.
Obviously, there's some deals you're gonna make 50K, some deals you're gonna make 3K, but average is 12 to 15,000, right?
Okay.
Let's say you get blessed. Your first, I know a guy who made 100K his first deal.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get blessed with a 12K deal, right? The average person is gonna go buy a chain, take their family to dinner, give their grandma some money because you think you're balling, right? We've all made those mistakes, right? Or invest in the business right away, right? What I would have done and what I'm doing now is you make 12K, put it away. Another 12K, put it away. Another 12K, put it away, right? Until you get a good amount, let's say 100K.
Then what? What are you gonna do with that 100K?
Then you start investing in your business. You start reinvesting in that business.
So let's say you made 50K from wholesale deals. We are not investing into the business.
I would be patient. If you already have a system that's working,
That's free now. We're talking about free system.
well,
We just made our first check.
from a free system,
That's my context.
I would continue. With this scenario, I'm assuming you're spending like $4,000 a month.
From where?
on marketing.
Your 9 to 5?
No, on your business, 4,000 for
From your 9 to 5? Where's that 4,000 coming from?
from your savings.
Fuck that, bro. Fuck that.
Take it slow, bro. You do not have to
take
rush.
it slow.
You don't have to rush.
This is
business.
how I would take it slow.
Alright.
Okay? Because we do disagree. This is
Yeah.
my mentor. He's been my mentor for a little minute. He helped me make my first $100,000 ever. So I value everything that he says, but we do disagree on a lot of shit. So one thing that I disagree on, like, bro, what the fuck are you saving $100,000 for? Like, spend that shit. Spend that shit as fast as possible. Now, I would say spend it after your second or third deal. Let's say you make $6,000 off of one wholesale deal. Don't spend that shit. Don't spend that. Do not fucking spend that because you're going to waste it. Even if you think you're spending it on your business, don't spend it. The only thing that you could safely spend your money on, if you just close your first deal and let's say you get $6,000 to $10,000, the first thing that you should spend your money on, and it's not a lot, you should buy fucking books and courses. I'm spitting. That's it, bro. You should not invest any money on like cold callers, skip tracing, none of that bullshit. Okay, if you are doing, let's say you're doing my method, you're doing Zillow, you made your first $20,000 a month from wholesaling real estate on Zillow, which is extremely possible. I've done it, and multiple students have done it. Multiple students of mine. You take that money, you keep it to the side, okay? But what you want to spend it on is knowledge, and that's it. That's fucking it. You just want to spend on self-development. That's it. That's it. Don't buy a belt. Don't buy a fucking, none of that bullshit. Don't buy ads. Don't buy none of that. You're just going to buy information. So books and courses. So after you buy that, boom, boom, boom. Once you close 3 to 4 deals, okay, now you got the hang of it. Now you kind of know what the fuck you're doing. You know what to look out for, what to avoid. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take that money. Let's say you got 20 bands. Let's say you got 20 bands. You close 4 deals for $5,000 each. You got $20,000. Cash. Liquid. What you're going to do is you're going to pay a fucking mentor. Me or Vince or anybody else who's just 2 steps ahead of you. You don't want to pay somebody that's like 50 steps ahead of you. You want to pay somebody who's ahead of you to where you know that you could reach their level in the next 90 days. That's what you want to pay for. You want to pay somebody who's ahead of you, who if they teach you, you know that you'll put in the right amount of work that they tell you to do to where you'll be at their level. So just pay a person who's a step or 2 ahead of you, pay them to learn how they do what they do, and then do that shit and put in all the sweat equity. I talk about this in my YouTube videos. How to invest in yourself. At first you don't have money. You have little money. Money's over here. You have little money, and then you have a whole lot of sweat equity. Sweat equity. That's the only thing you have in the beginning. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, whether you're trying to quit your 9 to 5 or you're just trying to leave your mom's house, you have a bunch of fucking sweat equity. Another way people phrase it is you have no money but a lot of time and energy. Sometimes when you make a lot of money, you have low time and low energy, but you have a lot of money. So you need to learn how to balance these out to where you have time, energy, and money. And you have location freedom. So you want to use as much sweat equity as you can in the beginning. And in the beginning, I mean like the first year, right? Or 2 to 3 years. Really, it's like 5 years. You want to use as much sweat equity as possible. After year 5 of using up all your sweat equity, that's when you could really delegate everything and you could step away from the business fully. But you want to sweat equity. Sweat equity that bitch up. You're doing it for free. Then you make $20,000. Now you pay for a cold caller. After you make 20 bands and you close 4 deals, minimum. Now you have cold callers. Now you have skip tracing. Now you're doing all this shit. But the whole time you've been putting in the sweat equity to where you have the skills to know how to deal with the leads that you pay for now. Now you're paying for leads. Leads are coming to you and they cost money. Now you're investing into the business. But you have the skill set to where you know how to deal with that. Let me guide this in it, unless you had a comment. But
no, I was just gonna say the skills you can keep talking, but the skills you need to be successful just in life, sales,
time
influence.
management.
Let's say influence.
Influence.
You need to know how to influence people. You need to know how to command money. You need to build your network. You know, I know people all over. I can just text somebody. I know, I damn near know somebody everywhere. Global. I'm global, right? I was blessed to have parents that lived in a different country. I went to high school in a different country, so my network is global. And now that I'm older, I'm seeing the value of it, right? You don't have. It takes time to build your network. And one of the biggest reasons my network continues to grow and people want to do business with me is because I do good business, right? Don't cut corners. Don't lie to people.
Yeah.
Because it catches up to you. Because guess what? That one person you screwed over knows 30 people.
Right.
Those are 30 people that are never going to do business with you.
That's a big lesson. That's a very big lesson. When you're in entrepreneurship, so when you leave the 9 to 5 world to join entrepreneurship, now you are your business is what it is basically. You are the money maker, not your 9 to 5 anymore. So that's a big thing that people are scared of. They're scared of leaving their dependent. They're dependent on the 9 to 5. They're dependent on that weekly or biweekly paycheck. And you leave that to now you are your 9 to 5. You are the 9 to 5. How many hours are you going to put in for yourself? And also, just like a business or a company has a bad reputation, you are the company. You don't want to have a bad reputation. You can't snake people. Let me tell you guys. Let me tell you something. If you want to make money being an entrepreneur, okay? If you want to make money being an entrepreneur long term, you want to have a career, you have to pay attention to your reputation. You cannot snake people. I'm telling you, these little $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 deals, it's not worth it. Guys, even $1 million deal, it's not worth your morals and it's not worth your integrity. You want to be able to sleep at night. I'd rather have $100,000 in my bank account and be fully aligned with my spirit and my soul and proud of who I am as a person. I would rather have that than to have $10 million. You can put $1 billion in. I don't care. There's not a price point. You can't buy my soul. As an entrepreneur, it's very important that you set that foundation in the beginning that no one can buy your soul. No amount of money is going to make me go against my morals and my beliefs. I'm never going to do something that's shameful to me for money.
With that said, you don't know what your number is.
Dave Chappelle talks about that.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he does. He talks about his dad taught him, Dave Chappelle's dad taught him that lesson. And that's why he turned down the $50 million to go to Africa. It's like, so at some level, you have to have there's no price. There's no price on my soul. There's no price on my soul. Granted, you don't know what you would do when somebody offers you $1 million cash. You don't know what you would do. You really don't know what you would do until you're put in that situation.
Exactly.
But you have to have some sort of foundation, spiritual, moral, ethical foundation within you that says, I'm ready to take on that. If that obstacle ever was to come my way, I'm ready for it.
And y'all be talking mad shit about people, but you'll find out your number is $10,000, man.
$10,000.
You're willing to spread them
soul.
cheeks for $10,000.
Don't do it, y'all. Don't sell your soul for 10 bands. That shit is nothing. Y'all want to see 10,000?
Yeah, we got tested actually. We got tested when we did the 200K deal. I don't know if you remember this. We were supposed to make.
Can y'all see that?
So when we did the 200K deal, we got an offer to make 350K, and we almost canceled our deal to go with the 350K. But we reminded ourselves that we made a commitment to the 200K offer, and luckily the 350K fell through anyway. But lesson learned, right? So I learned that 200K, I was willing to compromise, right? So. Got to be aware of that, guys. And the way you build that skill is with the small money you have, make sure you don't take advantage of people.
So, let's get into the next debate, or the next point that we disagree on, which is, I believe, well, it's really, I think we actually agree on this point, but let's just dive into it. Vince thinks that you should get a job before you, or keep your job before you quit, whatever. I believe that you should just quit your job right now. Stop being a bitch. Go all in on yourself. Now, there's contingencies to that. If you have a wife and kids and a mortgage, then yeah, probably don't quit your job because you got some responsibilities that you need to take care of, and you probably don't trust yourself to make the money. In that case, yeah, keep your job until you can replace it with your entrepreneurial ventures. But if you're single with no kids and you live with your parents, yes. If you have a job, you're a bitch. Alright, it's not just that you're a bitch. Let me be real. You're lazy. You're lazy. Stop being lazy. Really, you should have a job and hustle the same amount of hours as if you didn't have a job.
Absolutely. Especially, I don't know if you're, how old is your audience? Like,
they're anywhere from like 18 to like 40.
Okay, so you're 18 years old. It's not cool to, especially if you have no disrespect, but if you have an average mom and dad, let's say your dad's making 60K, your mom's making 40K, whatever. Like, bro, stop asking them for money, man. Go get your own money. Like, you can buy your own clothes, you can buy your own shoes. You don't need that stuff. You should be investing in yourself. You can pay for your gym membership. You can save up, buy a little car for like $4,000. You're a man now.
Yeah.
You're getting free shelter. When I was 18, 19, 20, I would, if I was staying the summer at my aunt's place, pay for some groceries, man. $50, $100, it's nothing.
Right.
But it does help an average person.
Right.
You're becoming a man.
Right. Before moving out, the first stage before that is stop asking your parents for money under any circumstances. Under every circumstance, stop asking your parents for money. Stop asking people for money. That is a very big obstacle I had to overcome when transitioning from my 9 to 5 slave mindset to my entrepreneurial mindset. I had to learn how to stop asking people for shit. Stop.
And listen, man, stay away from these biddies, bro.
Biddies?
Girls,
women.
Stay away. If you're
I'm about to say something disrespectful, but I ain't even about to go down that rabbit hole.
Um,
Stop asking people for money. Stop relying on females for money. Stop looking for a sugar mama. Stop looking for a girl to give you a ride. Stop looking for a girl with a car so she could give you a ride in her Nissan Altima or a Honda Civic so she could bring you to work. Or really, the girls be having the Nissan Altima be picking you up to drop them off at work so you could ride around in their car. Probably go cheat on them and do some stupid stuff. Stop it. Be a man. Level up. Have some pride. Have some respect for yourself. Stop asking women for money. Stop asking girls for money. Stop asking your parents for money. That's the first step. Stop asking people for stuff. Everything. Stop asking people for anything and start providing and being a provider for yourself first. Then you could slowly morph out into now you could provide for others. But you got to provide for yourself first. Stop being dependent on your mom. Move the hell out, bro. You're really not going to become a man until you move out. I didn't believe that at first, but now I really see how I see now. Now that I'm out of my parents' house, I had to level up. I got straight out of jail. I had nowhere to go, so I lived with my mom, and I had to level up at my mom's house. But I made the decision that I was going to level up no matter what.
how'd you decide to go to Houston?
So I just knew I was going to go to Texas. So it was either Texas or Dallas.
Houston.
And I ended up just going to Houston because I found a place on Facebook. I honestly believe it's all God's work. God did everything. All that happened for a reason. Because everything was so by chance. I was just so ready. And like when I look back at it on hindsight, it's like everything happened for a reason. But Houston was just the first
Have
place
you been
I
in
went
Dallas longer than Houston now?
to.
How long were you in Houston?
I was in Houston till about April. Then I came to Dallas in April. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 6 months, probably about the same time.
Yeah. You a Dallas boy now? I'm a Dallas boy.
Dallas is pretty cool.
I've been here 10 years, man.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Dallas is pretty lit. I'm from a very, very small town in Louisiana. And I grew up like 30 minutes away from New Orleans, so that was the city that we always went to. It was small, trashy, ghetto as hell.
You from the Bayou?
So yeah, in certain areas you don't go to. But coming to Texas in general, so much bigger, so much stuff out here. I experienced life through another perspective, through another lens that I've never experienced before. So, guys, when I'm telling you, moving out, you'll only experience it when you move. You will never fully. If you're living with your parents right now and you're listening to this podcast, you're listening to what I'm saying, you will never, I promise you, you will never understand what I'm saying. But when you move out for the first time, for the real time, like you move out of state, by yourself, there's no other feeling on planet Earth like it. Guarantee it.
And also, guys, build your social media. Okay, that is a way. That's modern networking. Okay, this guy paid me $5,000, and we made $100K together, and we made more than that. But the reason